Why respect begins within respect. A word often thrown around but seldom understood in its essence. We all crave it, respect from our peers, family, and society. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Respect isn't something you can demand or expect. It's something you earn. Yet, in the modern age of social media validation and superficial connections, many of us have lost sight of what true respect entails. This isn't about mastering quick-fix tricks to impress others. It's about transformation, changing how you perceive yourself and the world around you. Today, we're diving into 6 Stoic lessons that transcend time, helping you not only earn the respect of others, but, more importantly, develop unshakable self-respect. These lessons, rooted in ancient Stoic philosophy, aren't abstract ideas. They're practical tools for building character, mastering emotions, and living a purposeful life. Coupled with insights from Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and self-discipline, we'll explore how timeless wisdom can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. So, are you ready to stop sabotaging your own respect and start building a foundation of strength, authenticity, and resilience? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Stop seeking validation from others. The trap of external validation, seeking validation from others, is a deeply ingrained habit in human behavior. From childhood, we are conditioned to crave approval from our parents, teachers, and peers. This need for external validation often carries into adulthood, manifesting in our relationships, careers, and even our social media habits. But here's the harsh reality. The more you seek validation externally, the more you surrender control over your sense of self-worth. Imagine this scenario. You have worked hard on a project, pouring your time, effort, and creativity into it. Yet, when you share it with others, their lukewarm reaction leaves you feeling defeated. Why? Because you've tied your sense of accomplishment to their opinions. This endless pursuit of external validation creates a fragile foundation for self-respect, one that crumbles under the weight of others' judgments. The Stoic perspective on validation. The Stoics were firm believers in the idea that your worth should not depend on the opinions of others. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, put it succinctly: if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This statement may sound harsh, but its wisdom lies in its simplicity. True self-improvement comes from focusing on your values, not from impressing others. For the Stoics, seeking validation was a futile endeavor because people's opinions are often based on their own biases, insecurities, and limited understanding. Marcus Aurelius echoed this sentiment, writing in his Meditations, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Personal story: breaking free from the cycle of approval. There was a time in my life when I was trapped in the validation loop. At work, I constantly sought approval from my manager and colleagues. Every compliment felt like a high, but every criticism was a crushing blow. Social media only amplified this behavior. I would obsess over likes and comments, equating digital approval with my self-worth. It wasn't until I stumbled upon Stoic philosophy that I realized the futility of this approach. Epictetus's words struck a chord. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. I began to shift my focus inward, evaluating my actions based on my principles rather than others' opinions. The change wasn't immediate, but over time, I found a profound sense of freedom and self-respect. Buddhist insights: turning inward for validation. Buddhism complements Stoicism in its emphasis on turning inward. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the concept of mindfulness, being present and self-aware. This practice helps us detach from external approval and instead find validation within. A simple Buddhist exercise can help you start this journey. Daily reflection. Spend 5 minutes each evening reflecting on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself, did I act in alignment with my values today? Meditation. Practice mindfulness meditation to observe your thoughts without judgment. This helps you recognize when you're seeking external validation and gently redirect your focus inward. Gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. This reinforces a sense of self-worth independent of others' opinions. Historical example: Socrates and self-validation. Socrates, though not a Stoic, embodied the principles of self-validation. He was often ridiculed and misunderstood for his unconventional methods and ideas. Yet, Socrates remained steadfast, valuing his pursuit of truth over the opinions of others. His refusal to conform earned him both criticism and respect, but he stayed true to himself, a timeless lesson in self-validation. Practical steps to stop seeking validation. Set personal standards. Define your values and measure your actions against them, not others' opinions. Limit social media exposure. Reduce time spent on platforms that encourage comparison and validation seeking. Celebrate your wins privately. Learn to find joy in your achievements without needing external acknowledgement. Surround yourself with support. Choose relationships that encourage growth and self-respect rather than validation. By letting go of the need for external approval, you build a foundation of self-respect that no one can take away. You become the architect of your own worth. Lesson 2. Stop letting emotions control you. Emotional turmoil, a roadblock to respect. Imagine a scenario. You're stuck in traffic and someone cuts you off. You immediately feel a surge of anger and respond with an aggressive gesture or comment. While this reaction might feel justified in the moment, it ultimately leaves you feeling unsettled and may even escalate the situation. Now, consider a different approach. Instead of reacting impulsively, you take a deep breath, acknowledge your anger, and let it pass without acting on it. You've not only maintained your composure, but also preserved your inner peace. This ability to control your emotions is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that while emotions are natural, they should never dictate your actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The cost of emotional reactivity. When emotions control you, they undermine your ability to think clearly, act wisely, and command respect. Consider these consequences of unchecked emotions. Damaged relationships. Reacting impulsively can harm your personal and professional relationships. Lost opportunities. Emotional outbursts often cloud your judgment, leading to missed opportunities for growth. Erosion of self-respect. Constantly giving in to emotions can leave you feeling out of control and disconnected from your values. Personal story. Learning emotional mastery. There was a time when I struggled with controlling my temper. Minor inconveniences, like a missed deadline or a miscommunication, would trigger intense frustration. My emotional outbursts not only strained my relationships, but also left me feeling drained and regretful. Discovering Stoic philosophy was a turning point. Marcus Aurelius's reminder, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury," became my mantra. Instead of reacting, I started pausing, reflecting, and choosing my responses. Over time, I noticed a profound shift. Not only did others begin to respect me more, but I also felt a deeper sense of self-respect and inner calm. Buddhist teachings: mastering the mind. Buddhism offers valuable insights into emotional control through the practice of mindfulness and meditation. The Satipatthana Sutta, the discourse on the foundations of mindfulness, emphasizes observing emotions without attachment or aversion. This detachment helps you understand that emotions are fleeting and do not define you. A practical Buddhist exercise for emotional mastery. Mindful breathing. When you feel an emotion rising, focus on your breath. Count to 4 as you inhale, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. This calms the mind and creates space for thoughtful responses. Labeling emotions. Acknowledge your emotions by naming them. I feel anger, I feel sadness. This simple act of labeling reduces their intensity and helps you gain clarity. Historical example: the calm of Seneca. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, exemplified emotional mastery. During times of political turmoil and personal tragedy, Seneca maintained his composure. His letters to his friend Lucilius often reflect his belief that emotional control is the key to a virtuous and respected life. One story recounts how Seneca, upon receiving news of his exile, calmly remarked that exile was simply a change of scenery, not a catastrophe. His perspective demonstrates how emotional control can transform even the most challenging situations into opportunities for growth. Practical steps to master your emotions. Pause before reacting. Count to 10 before responding to any emotionally charged situation. Practice self-reflection. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on how you handled your emotions. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from negative emotions to positive experiences. Seek growth in challenges. View emotional triggers as opportunities to practice patience and resilience. The respect you earn through emotional mastery. By mastering your emotions, you demonstrate maturity, self-discipline, and strength. People naturally respect those who remain calm and composed under pressure. More importantly, emotional mastery strengthens your self-respect, giving you the confidence to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Through the lens of Stoic and Buddhist teachings, emotional control becomes more than a skill. It becomes a path to inner peace and a cornerstone of a life built on respect. Lesson 3. Stop avoiding difficult conversations. The fear of confrontation. Avoiding difficult conversations is one of the most common ways we sabotage respect in our lives. Whether it's addressing a friend's hurtful behavior, giving constructive feedback to a colleague, or discussing sensitive topics with a partner, we often shy away from confrontation. The reason? Fear. Fear of rejection, fear of escalation, or simply fear of discomfort. However, avoiding these conversations doesn't make the issues disappear. Instead, it allows misunderstandings, resentment, and unresolved tensions to grow. This avoidance erodes respect, both self-respect and the respect others have for you. The Stoic perspective on courage stoicism places great emphasis on courage, viewing it as one of the cardinal virtues necessary for a life of integrity and respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very conversations we fear are often the ones that lead to growth and resolution. By facing difficult conversations head-on, you demonstrate courage, honesty, and a willingness to address problems constructively. These qualities earn respect because they show that you value truth and authenticity over superficial harmony. A personal experience with confrontation. I once had a close friend who frequently made jokes at my expense. At first, I brushed it off, not wanting to cause conflict, but over time, the comments began to affect my confidence and our friendship. I knew I needed to address it, but I was afraid of how my friend would react. Eventually, I mustered the courage to have an honest conversation. I expressed how the jokes made me feel, without blaming or accusing them. To my surprise, my friend apologized and admitted they hadn't realized the impact of their words. That conversation not only improved our relationship, but also taught me the value of addressing issues directly. Buddhist insight: right speech. In Buddhism, the principle of right speech emphasizes communication that is truthful, kind, and beneficial. Difficult conversations, when approached with compassion and clarity, can strengthen relationships rather than harm them. Buddhism encourages us to speak with intention. Ensure your words are meant to resolve, not harm. Listen with compassion. Truly hear the other person's perspective without judgment. Focus on solutions. Shift the conversation toward understanding and resolution. Practical steps for navigating difficult conversations. Prepare yourself. Reflect on the purpose of the conversation and what you hope to achieve. Choose the right time. Pick a moment when both parties are calm and open to discussion. Use I statements. Express your feelings and experiences without blaming the other person. Stay calm and respectful. Maintain a composed demeanor, even if the conversation becomes heated. By addressing issues directly, you not only resolve conflicts, but also earn the respect of others for your honesty and courage. Lesson 4. Stop making excuses. The habit of shifting blame. Making excuses is an easy way to avoid taking responsibility for mistakes or failures. Whether it's blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck, excuses might protect your ego in the short term, but they ultimately undermine your credibility and self-respect. When you make excuses, you signal to others that you lack accountability. This weakens trust and respect, as people begin to see you as someone who avoids responsibility rather than owning up to challenges. Stoicism and accountability. Stoic philosophy is rooted in personal responsibility. Epictetus famously said, "We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." This means that while we cannot control external events, we are fully responsible for how we respond to them. Taking ownership of your actions, both successes and failures, is a hallmark of integrity. It shows others that you are reliable, trustworthy, and committed to growth. Personal example: learning to take responsibility. Early in my career, I missed an important deadline. Instead of admitting my mistake, I blamed external factors: the workload, unclear instructions, and even my coworkers. While this shifted the blame temporarily, it damaged my reputation. My manager saw through the excuses and questioned my reliability. That experience was a wake-up call. From then on, I committed to owning my mistakes. If I missed a goal or made an error, I would acknowledge it, analyze what went wrong, and take steps to improve. This shift in mindset not only restored my credibility, but also boosted my self-respect. Buddhist perspective: mindful ownership. In Buddhism, mindfulness teaches us to observe our actions and take responsibility for their outcomes. The concept of karma reinforces this principle. Our actions create consequences, and we must accept them fully. A practical Buddhist practice for embracing accountability. Reflect on your actions. Spend time each day reviewing your decisions and their outcomes. Accept imperfections. Recognize that mistakes are opportunities for growth, not reasons for shame. Commit to growth. Use each mistake as a stepping stone toward self-improvement. Practical steps to stop making excuses. Acknowledge mistakes. Admit when you've made an error and take ownership of it. Focus on solutions. Instead of dwelling on excuses, identify steps to address the issue. Seek feedback. Ask others for constructive criticism to help you grow. Practice self-reflection. Regularly evaluate your behavior to ensure alignment with your values. By taking responsibility for your actions, you demonstrate maturity and integrity, earning the respect of those around you. Lesson 5. Stop reacting to every insult. The urge to retaliate. When someone insults or disrespects us, the natural reaction is to retaliate, to defend our honor or strike back with equal force. However, this reaction often escalates conflicts and undermines our dignity. The Stoics believed that reacting to insults gives power to the insulter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By choosing not to react, you reclaim control over your emotions and actions. Why non-reaction commands? Respect, refusing to engage with insults, demonstrates self-control and emotional maturity. It signals that you are not easily provoked and that your self-worth is not tied to others' opinions. This level of composure naturally commands respect. Personal story. Learning to stay composed. In one memorable incident, a coworker made a cutting remark about my work during a meeting. My initial impulse was to defend myself aggressively. Instead, I paused, took a deep breath, and calmly asked them to clarify their feedback. My composed response not only diffused the situation, but also earned the admiration of others in the room. Buddhist insights. Letting go of the ego. Buddhism teaches that insults often hurt because they challenge our ego. By practicing non-attachment, we can let go of the need to protect our ego and respond to negativity with grace. The Buddha said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." Letting go frees us from this cycle of suffering. Practical steps for responding to insults. Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and count to 10 before responding. Reframe the insult. View it as a reflection of the other person's struggles, not your worth. Respond calmly or not at all. Choose whether the situation warrants a response. If it does, respond with grace. Focus on inner peace. Remind yourself that your value is not defined by others' words. The strength of composure. By choosing not to react to insults, you demonstrate strength, wisdom, and self-respect. People admire those who can rise above negativity and remain grounded. More importantly, you preserve your inner peace, which is far more valuable than any fleeting argument. When you master the art of staying composed, you not only earn respect from others, but also deepen your own sense of self-worth. A priceless quality in today's reactive world. Lesson 6. Stop reacting to every insult. The wisdom of composure. In a world driven by instant reactions and emotional outbursts, the ability to remain composed in the face of insults is a rare and powerful virtue. Stoic philosophy teaches us that insults often say more about the person delivering them than the one receiving them. When someone disrespects or belittles you, it's frequently a reflection of their own insecurities or struggles, not your worth. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless work Meditations, reminds us, "You have power over your mind. not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This principle encourages us to reclaim control over our reactions and not let external negativity disturb our inner peace. Why reacting to insults is counterproductive. Reacting to insults may feel justified in the moment, but it often leads to negative consequences. Loss of control. Reacting emotionally gives the insulter power over your behavior, showing a lack of self-discipline. Escalation. Arguments often spiral into unnecessary conflict when both parties react impulsively. Damage to reputation. People respect those who remain calm under pressure, not those who lash out. Consider the example of a leader in a heated debate. The one who keeps their composure earns respect, while the reactive one loses credibility. Personal story. Rising above insults. Several years ago, I faced a situation where a colleague openly criticized my work in a meeting. My initial reaction was anger, and I wanted to defend myself immediately. But remembering Stoic teachings, I took a deep breath and calmly asked them to elaborate on their feedback. To my surprise, their criticism was not entirely unfounded, and my composed response shifted the tone of the conversation from combative to collaborative. This experience taught me a crucial lesson. Reacting with composure not only preserves your dignity, but also creates opportunities for constructive dialogue. Buddhist insight. Letting go of the ego. In Buddhism, the practice of non-attachment extends to the ego. Insults often hurt because they challenge our sense of self or ego. By letting go of the need to protect our ego, we free ourselves from the pain of insults. A Zen story beautifully illustrates this point. A student once asked a master, "How do you remain unmoved when others insult you?" The master replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" Similarly, when we refuse to internalize insults, they lose their power over us. Practical steps to master. This lesson: pause before reacting. Take a moment to breathe and assess whether the insult warrants a response. Consider the source. Reflect on the intentions or struggles of the person delivering the insult. Their words often stem from their own issues. Choose silence or grace. Not every insult requires a response. When you do respond, do so calmly and thoughtfully. Reframe the experience. See insults as opportunities to practice patience, humility, and emotional mastery. Historical example: Socrates and the insulter. Socrates, the great philosopher, was known for his unshakable composure. When insulted, he would often respond with humor or simply remain silent. In one instance, a man publicly insulted him, calling him ugly and ignorant. Socrates calmly replied, "What you say may be true, but I have no need to be troubled by your opinion." His ability to rise above petty insults earned him immense respect and cemented his legacy as a wise and composed thinker. Applying this lesson to modern life. In the age of social media, insults and criticism can feel relentless. It's easy to be provoked by online trolls or negative comments. However, applying Stoic and Buddhist principles can transform how you navigate these interactions. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, does this insult truly define me? Most often, the answer is no. The true power of non-reaction. By refusing to engage in petty conflicts, you demonstrate immense self-control and confidence. People respect those who are not easily provoked, as it signals maturity, strength, and wisdom. More importantly, by mastering your reactions, you preserve your inner peace, a treasure far more valuable than any external approval. Respect, at its core, is not something granted by others. It is something cultivated within. The 6 lessons explored: stopping the pursuit of validation, mastering emotions, confronting difficult conversations, owning your actions, refraining from reacting to insults, and maintaining your inner peace, are more than just habits. They are the foundation of a life that commands respect, both from yourself and others. By integrating these Stoic lessons with mindfulness practices inspired by Buddhism, you embark on a transformative journey. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each small step you take toward mastering these principles strengthens your character and builds a legacy of respect. So, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Which of these lessons resonates most with you? Where can you begin making changes today? Remember, the respect you seek starts within. Embrace these teachings, practice them daily, and watch as they transform not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. Stay strong, stay stoic, and stay true to your values. Together, we can grow, learn, and build lives of purpose and respect. See you in the next video.